Hello everyone, welcome back to our CLE Degree College YouTube classes. So in today's video, we will continue your physics syllabus of a BSc third semester. Okay, so we'll continue your cardinal points of an optical system. So in a previous video already we studied the focal points and the focal planes. Okay, in this video we will continue your principal points and the principal planes. Okay, so first of all we must have to concentrate on a diagram. So see here in a diagram what they given, two spherical surfaces are there or the thick lenses are there. So in that what happened, the rays are incidenting, refracting, getting the what, F1, F2, P1, P2, H1, H2. Okay, so what is the F1, F2 already we got. What is that? Focal points and the focal planes. Now we have to find out what is the P1, P2, H1, H2, how they are incidenting, how they are refracting and how they are producing all these things. Okay, one by one we will study. So first of all, see here, consider a thick lens or a coaxial refracting system. So here we have to consider whatever this is there, this is either a thick lens or the coaxial, means same refracting system or the refracting surfaces in a optical system. So next, having its principal foci F1 and F2. Okay, already in the previous video we know that what is the F1 and F2. Okay, got it. So here we are considering a thick lens or the coaxial refracting surfaces in an optical system, and already we got the F1 and F2, that is the what? Principal foci. So next here, a ray of light PQ parallel to the principal axis incident at a Q. So consider this ray as a P. Okay, this ray as a P which is parallel to what? Principal axis. Got it? So that is parallel to the principal axis. Okay. Next, making PQ. How they are making a PQ? A ray of light PQ. If P is travel up to the Q, we called as a ray PQ. So a ray of light PQ parallel to the what? Principal axis at Q. That P ray touches to the Q, we are getting a ray PQ that is also parallel to what? Principal axis. Okay. So next here, what happened? Refracted along QR. Next, they are refracting along, see here, Q to R. Incident ray, making the one ray is coming from P meeting to the Q which is parallel to the principal axis. Okay, next refraction will be takes place from Q to R. So next here, then it emerges out from the second surface along RF2. Next what happened? Again the refraction will be takes place and coming to the RF2, what happened? They can be emerges out. Okay. Next, the incident ray PQ and the emergent ray RF2 appears to be intersect at H2. So what is here our incident ray? That is PQ and emergent ray RF2. So that both can be intersect to the plane H2. So see here also intersection will be takes place with the incident ray PQ and the emergent ray RF2. Okay, understood? We'll move to the next. So next here, a plane passing through H2 and perpendicular to the axis is termed as second principal plane of the lens. So already we got the intersection will be takes place for to the point H2. So that H2 is known as the what? Second principal plane. Okay. So how? See here, a plane passing through H2 and perpendicular to the axis termed as second principal plane. So what is the second principal plane here? That H2 P2. So here we are getting the H2 P2. that plane of the lens, that is known as the what? Our second principal plane. If the point of intersection on the principal axis P2 is called as the second principal point. Got it? So here our incident ray and the emergent ray intersection with respect to H2 and P2, that is called as the what? Our second principal plane, and we are getting here on the principal axis we are getting the point P2. That P2 is known as what? Second principal point. Got it? Up to this we got the second principal plane as well as the second principal point. So second principal point is our P2 and second principal plane H2 P2. Okay, we'll move next. So next here, again the same diagram. Consider another ray. Up to this we studied for these rays. Okay, these and these rays. Okay, next we'll see for F1s. We have to study for these rays. Okay, so see here, consider another ray of light F1s. See here, F1s. F1s incident on the first surface. So here already I told you two surfaces are there. F1s is incidenting on a what? First surface. Okay. After the incident, what happened? It refracted along ST. First incident will be takes place. After the incident, refraction will be takes place. So it is refracted along what? S and T. Okay. Refraction will be takes place along S and T. Next, what happened? Finally, it emerges out along TW. Again, what happened? It can be emerges out along here, TW. So this is point T and this is point W. Okay, emerges along TW from the what? Second surface. So emerges out from this is our second surface. Okay. Next, what happened? The incident ray F1s and perpendicular to the axis and passing through H1 is called the first principal plane, and the point of intersection P1 with the axis called as the what? First principal point. So same, already we studied the what? PQ, QR, RF2. So same procedure will be happened here. First, what happened? F1s incident ray will be what? Touching the first spherical surfaces. After that, refraction will be takes place. Refraction from S to T. After refraction, the rays are emerges out from T to TW. So the intersection of that will takes place on a point H to P2. So we are getting our plane, that is called as the first principal plane, that is what? H1 P1. So at that point on the principal axis, that is P1. So here on a principal axis we are getting one point, that is what? P1. So that P1 is nothing but what? Our first principal point. Got it? So here we find the what? H2 P2, that is what? The second principal plane, and P2, that is what? Second principal point. Right? Now, so here we are getting what? H1 P1. H1 P1 means what? The first principal plane, and P1 is what? First principal point. Got it? So we'll move to the next. So the conclusion is here. It is clear from the figure that two incident rays are directed towards H1 and after refraction seems to come from H2. Therefore, H2 is the image of H1, thus H1 and H2 are the conjugative points, and plane H1 P1 and H2 P2 are pair of conjugative planes. So see here what they given in a figure. Already I shown you here in a slide figures. So in a figure that two incident ray are directed towards H1. So, two incident ray, if they directed towards the H1, what happened? And after refraction seems to come to. Suppose first it is directed, two surfaces are there. First it is directed to what? H1. Okay. Next refracted to the H2. Next they again come back to after refraction for the H2, that is known as the what? The H2 is the image of H1. Thus like H1 and H2 are the conjugative points. So after this we can conclude that H1 and H2 are the conjugative points and plane H1 P1 and H2 PT are the what? Conjugative planes. So thus further H2 P2 equal to what? H1 P1. So therefore the lateral magnification of the plane is +1. Okay. So this is the what? Explanation of the principal planes and the principal point. Okay. We will continue this topic in a next class. Thank you.